Hello everyone, welcome to the daily current affair analysis brought to you by Shankar Academy, 23rd September 2025. Before getting into the discussion, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't, please do subscribe and also hit the bell icon to receive on-time updates from the Academy. So coming to the topics for the discussion, the first topic is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. Recently, the Ministry of Rural Development signed a memorandum of understanding with the state rural livelihood missions of 4 states. And the next article is regarding the Jal Jeevan Mission and NABARD. So recently, the Kerala government granted permission to the Kerala Water Authority to take a loan worth of 9,000 crore from the NABARD for Jal Jeevan Mission. And the next article is regarding the e-governance, because we know that the 28th National E-Governance Conference was held in the city of Visakhapatnam. And the next article is regarding the H-1B visa, because we know that recently the Trump administration brought a measure regarding the H-1B visa. And in this topic, we will be discussing what is H-1B visa and how it is going to affect the Indian workers in the United States, particularly the IT professionals. And finally, we will be looking into some of the important prelims topics under the Prelims Focus. If all said, let's begin the discussion with the first article. Ministry of Rural Development signs Memorandum of Understanding for Technical Assistance under Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. The article is taken from PIB. So now the Union Ministry for Rural Development has signed the Memorandum of Understanding with the National Institute for Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, which is located in Hyderabad, and also with the State Rural Livelihood Missions of 4 states, that is Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand and Telangana. So in this background, let us discuss more about the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission, and what are the objectives of this present Memorandum of Understanding. So starting with the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. So it's a flagship program under the Ministry of Rural Development, which is aiming to reduce the poverty in the rural area by organizing the rural poor into self-help groups and supporting them with a proper skill, credit and livelihood opportunities. But this program was actually launched in 2011 as National Rural Livelihood Mission, and later, that is in 2015, we restructured and we renamed the program into Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. And what are the features? The first feature is the target of the rural population. That means we will be focusing, the program will be focusing more on the rural household with a special focus on women. And the approach is community driven development. That means we will be organizing the rural poor into self-help group, and then we will support the self-help group with the proper opportunity, credit facility, and also with the skill program. And therefore the rural households will be plan the program, they will implement the program, and they will monitor the program. And the next is the implementation. So the implementation is through the state rural livelihood mission in each state. And you can see that the funding, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. That means a particular portion of the funding will be given by the state also. Therefore in the other states it is 60:40, but in the case of northeast and Himalayan state, the 90% of the funding will be from the union government and the 10% is from the state governments. And coming to the objectives of this present Memorandum of Understanding, first is capacity building through training for the state rural livelihood staff and the community cadres. And the next is the knowledge creation. So that is building multi-thematic resource pools and documenting the best practices. For example, recently we know that the Yadagiri Sila Parishad in the state of Karnataka, they organized the self-help group into food processing unit under the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Such practices we can adopt across the nation. And the next is training program for the self-help group. That includes providing basic literacy program, digital literacy program, and at the same time leadership skills and all. And the next is community empowerment. That is strengthening the self-help group and community institutions through providing proper opportunity, skill development, and also with a better credit facility. And the next is livelihood development. That is enhancing opportunity for the rural communities, particularly in poverty elevation and also employment generation. And the next is digital push. That is promoting innovations like LOC OS platform. LOC means people, OS means operating system. So it's a platform that developed under the Ministry of Rural Development for monitoring the self-help group and other community organizations and institutions to track their progress and all. And the next is social inclusion. That is deepening the participation of the marginalized communities in implementing, planning, and monitoring of the of various socio-economic development programs. And So in this topic, we discussed the basics about the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission and what is the objective of the present Memorandum of Understanding that signed between the state rural livelihood missions of 4 states and the Ministry of Rural Development. So with this, we have a prelims question. The question is, with reference to the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission, consider the following statement. Statement 1. The mission was originally launched in 2011 and was renamed in 2015 after Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya. Statement 2. Its primary objective is to reduce rural poverty by organizing rural households, especially women, into self-help group. Statement 3. The funding pattern is shared between center and the state in ratio of 60:40 for most states and 90:10 for northeastern and Himalayan states. So from our discussion, we can see that all the 3 statements are correct. So here the correct answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Yes. So with this, we will move to the next article. State government issues order permitting Kerala Water Authority to take rupees 9,000 crore NABARD loan for Jal Jeevan Mission. The article is taken from The Hindu. So now the Kerala government has granted permission to the Kerala Water Authority to take rupees 9,000 crore NABARD loan for the Jal Jeevan Mission. So in this background, we will be discussing more about the Jal Jeevan Mission and also about the institution NABARD. So starting with the Jal Jeevan Mission, it was announced on 15th August 2019 under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. The objective is to provide functional household tap connection to every rural household by 2024. So the objective was to bring functional household tap connection to every rural household by 2024, but in between a lot of unexpected things happened, like the outbreak of COVID-19 and all. So considering all the delays, now the mission has extended up to 2028. The tagline, that is the slogan of the scheme is Har Ghar Jal, that is water to every household. So coming to the major objectives, that is first is the universal coverage of piped drinking water supply to every household. The second is ensuring 55 liters of water per capita per day of safe and adequate drinking water to every household. And the next is promote community participation in water supply schemes. And the next is focus on resource sustainability, that is better conservation of groundwater and rainwater. And the next is improving sanitization for ensuring clean water and healthy water for everyone, and also for preventing or reducing the waterborne diseases. And what are the key features of the Jal Jeevan Mission? The first is a decentralized approach. That means the communities can shape or they can change the implementation of the scheme according to the different environment. That means more participation of the the panchayat institutions and all. And the next is water quality monitoring. For example, providing training to the stakeholders and also providing field test kit to check the water quality on time. And next is convergence with other schemes. For example, you can see that the MG Narega. So the employees under the MG Narega will be participating in renovation of the canals and irrigation systems and all. And the next is the capacity building, that is providing training and also leadership skills and also skills regarding the management of the fund and also for better adoption of technology. And the next is special focus, that is special focus in in the regions with the affected water quality, or the regions in marginalized area, or regions or aspirational districts. So these areas will be given special focus. And the next is funding pattern. So it's a centrally sponsored scheme. So in most of the states, the funding is 50:50. And in the case of union territory, the 100% funding will be from the union government. And for the Himalayan and the northeastern state, it is 90:10. That is 90% of the funding will be from the government and the 10% from the state governments. So here you can see the difference of 5 years in the Jal Jeevan Mission. So when it was started in 2019, only 3.23 crore rural households had a functional household tap connection. But you can see that in 2024, nearly 50,000 crore rural households have a functional household tap connection. So you can see the difference in the 5 years. And coming to the next, that is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, also known as NABARD. So it is established in 1982 under the recommendation of B. Shivaraman Committee. So please note the name of this committee is very important. And the institution is established under the NABARD Act of 1981, and the NABARD headquarters is located in Mumbai, and it is an apex bank for agriculture and rural development in India. And coming to the function. So what are the major functions of NABARD? First is providing credit. So you can see that credit for the Kerala Water Authority. And the next is development functions, that is training, capacity building, and at the same time, providing credit for infrastructure development, especially in the agriculture sector. And the next is the supervisory function, that includes supervising the subordinate institutions like rural development banks and all, and the same time also supervising the implementation of the functions and all. So these are the major supervisory functions of the NABARD. And coming to the prelims practice question, so in this topic we discussed the basics about the Jal Jeevan Mission and also about the NABARD. So here we have a questions regarding the Jal Jeevan Mission. So the question is, with reference to the Jal Jeevan Mission, consider the following statements. Statement 1, it aims to provide 55 liter per capita per day of safe drinking water to every rural household through functional household tap connection. And statement 2, the mission is being implemented by the Ministry of Rural Development. And statement 3, the Jal Jeevan Mission looks to create a Jan Andolan for water, thereby making it everyone's priority. Which of the above statements is or are correct? So from the discussion we can see that the option C is the correct answer, because the statement 2 is incorrect, because the mission is not implemented by the rural development, it is implemented by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. So therefore the statement 2 is incorrect. So the correct answer is option C, 1 and 3 only. So with this we will move to the next article. Naidu to inaugurate 28th National Conference on E-Governance in Visakhapatnam on September 22nd. The article is taken from The Hindu. So we know that the national conference, that is 20th National Conference on E-Governance, will be held in the city of Visakhapatnam from September 22nd to 28th, and the conference will be inaugurated by the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Mr. Chandrababu Naidu in the presence of the Union Minister for Science and Technology. And this year the theme for the conference is Vikasit Bharat, civil service and digital transformation. So we know that India is moving forward with a vision of Vikasit Bharat, that is transforming the country into a developed nation by 2047. And the better governance, efficient governance is very important for the well-being of the people and also for the development. So in this background, let us discuss more about the importance of e-governance. So starting with the definition. So what is meant by e-governance? E-governance is a use of information and communication technology in government process for better delivery of service, information exchange, better communication and integration between government and citizen, government and business entities, government to government and government to employees. So you can see that if you take the case, for example, if a person is going for applying the driving license. So what was the tradition before? He has to go through a lot of procedures, he has to go through a lot of government offices, but that is not the case now. You can open the e-Parivar portal, you can give all your details, and you can select a slot for your learners test, and after that you can, using the learners test, you can learn the driving, and after 6 months you can apply for the the driving test and you can get this license. So now the procedure, it's relatively much simple, more efficient and better. So this is how the e-governance is transforming the service. And what is the significance of e-governance? First is transparency and accountability. So the digital records reduces the possibility of corruption and discretion, and the citizens can track the status of their application. For example, regarding your exam or for your higher education, you applied for the income certificate, and you applied the income certificate through the digital mode. So what happens? You can track the status of the application in every stage. Where is your application now, and how long it will get, at how long it will take to get approval from the Tahsildar or your Taluk authority. So this is how we can track the application. And the next is efficiency and the speed. So you can see that if you are following the traditional method, you have to walk through government procedures, you have to walk through different offices of the government, and you have to face a lot of officials. But now you can see that it all got deleted. You can simply go through the portal for the particular purpose, you can give your details and you can get the service. And you can see that this will reduce the paperwork and also the delay regarding the procedure. And the next is accessibility and inclusive. So you can see that if you, for example, if you are going for a government purpose in that before the digital era, like I mentioned, you have to go through a lot of government procedures and offices, but at the same time it is also time consuming, and it also needs, it will also take a lot of money. But therefore you can see that now, because of this digitalization, the service is even accessible in the remote area also. So therefore you can ensure better inclusivity. And the next is it will benefit the vulnerable groups by reducing the middlemen. So you can see that if you for example, if you are going for some government certificate, before that there will be brokers, they will be nearby the government office. When you reach the government office premise, this person will approach you, and they will say that we will speed up the procedure, you have to give some certain amount of money to us. Now we can see that because of this digitalization, we can easily eliminate such middlemen or broker. And the next is cost effectiveness. So you can see that it saves time, administrative cost, and also the resources. And the next is citizen empowerment. So you can see that now the citizen can track their application status, they can provide their feedbacks regarding the service, and at the same time, if they have any concern, they can address through grievance portal. So therefore you can see that the citizen has voice now, and also encourages participatory democracy. Now we can see that now regarding a government function or regarding the delivery of a service, it is not just the government, it is the citizen, and the citizen also plays an important part. And the next is, what are the initiatives taken by the government for the promotion of e-government? First, we have the flagship programs like Digital India, which was launched in 2015, which is aiming to transform the the society into a digitally empowered society with a sufficient digital knowledge, digital literacy, and we can better quality of service. And the next is the national e-governance plan. It is a framework for the delivering services electronically across various sectors. And coming to the certain major platforms and initiatives, we have the Aadhaar, which will provide a biometric identity for everyone, for which enables better accessibility to various government benefits and services. And you can see that we can also enable direct benefit transfer through the Aadhaar. The best example is the benefits going to the MG Narega employees. And the next is UMANG app. So this is a platform which enables nearly 1600 plus government services to the citizens. And the next is the DigiLocker. So it's a cloud platform which enables us to store our documents in digital format, and the profile in this DigiLocker will be linked with our Aadhaar. And the next is a BEAM or UPI. So you can see that BEAM means it's an application, that is a Bharat interface for money, and UPI means unified payment interface. So both plays a crucial role in India's digital payment ecosystem. And now we can see that now the government is working on expanding the coverage of the UPI. So recently we can see that the Namibia, the South African nation, accepted the UPI of India. And the next is the GST network. So through this we can file ITR and all. And the next is a centralized public grievance redress and monitoring system. So this will enable the citizens to file if they have any complaints against government authorities or local bodies, and we can track the status of the complaint also. And the next is a e-court project. So that is ICT enabled court. So we can see that through the information and communication technology, through various digital platforms, we can conduct various trials related to many cases and all. So this will automatically reduce the burden of the cases in the judiciary. And the next is the National Agriculture Market, that is ENAM. So it's a pan-Indian electronic trading platform for the agri produce. So this will reduce the presence of middlemen, and at the same time it will also ensure better accessibility of the farming products to the market. And the next is a Swayam and Diksha. So both are online learning platform. So Diksha through this Swayam we can get MOOC courses, and Diksha, it is a platform which integrates the teachers with the students, and through this we can also provide training to the students, and also we can share the e-content. So this both are very crucial for the India's digital learning. And coming to the challenges faced by the e-governance, first is the digital divide. So that is unequal accessibility to internet devices, and differences of digital literacy in different regions. For example, if you take the remote region or people living in the isolated area, they may not have a proper connectivity or accessibility to the services. And the next is a concern associated with the cyber security. For example, you can see that once our data, for example, in the case of DigiLocker itself, we can see that our data is stored in the cloud platform. So what happens there? It raises concerns associated with the security and privacy of the people. And the next is resistance and a capacity gap. So we can see that the reluctance from the people in adopting the change. For example, if you take the now we are using the digital board instead of traditional blackboard. but you can see that the teachers may not be using it because of their reluctance to change. And the next is low digital skills. So people in different sectors may not know how to use the new technology. And the next is infrastructure limitation, that includes poor connectivity because of difficult terrain and all, power issues, and also concerns associated with the system overload. So you can see that in remote areas, if you take the ration shop itself, many times the food grains cannot be provided because of the poor internet connectivity. So the infrastructure limitation is also another major challenge faced by the e-governance. And the next is the lack of integrated platforms. So you can see that the fragmentation of departments. So this can lead to overlapping of the same function and a lot of confusions. And coming to the mains question. So in this topic, we discussed what is e-governance, what is the significance of e-governance, and also what are the challenges and what are the certain initiatives taken by the government for empowering the digital infrastructure and for the e-governance. So based on this, try to answer this mains practice question. The question is, e-governance is not merely about the use of technology, but about transforming governance itself. Discuss the importance of e-governance in India and critically analyze the challenges faced by it. So we discussed what are the challenges, and also we discussed what is the significance, transparency, and better accountability and empowerment of the citizen. So these are the significance or the importance of the governance, and what are the challenges faced by it. Digital divide is a challenge. Reluctance to change, this is a major challenge. And the next is the fragmented nature of the administrative structure itself is a challenge. So these are the major challenges faced by the e-governance in India. So using this hints, try to answer the question and post it in the comment section. We will review and we will reply for your answer. Now it's time to move to the next article. H-1B visas, Indians and immigration discourse in the United States. The article is taken from Indian Express. So we know that now the Trump administration has brought a new measure, that is hereafter annually the employer have to pay $1 lakh for every H-1B visa. So in this background, let us discuss more about this article. So starting with the H-1B visa. So we know that visa, it's a permission granted by a particular nation which allows a citizen from another country to visit their country for a particular period of time for a particular purpose. So we have heard about tourist visa, students visa and all. For example, if a person is going for higher education in another country through the students visa, then he can stay in the country until he completes the course. For example, if the duration of the course is 4 years, then he he can stay in the country for the 4 years, and if he wants to stay in the country for another 1 year or 2 years, then he can renew the visa. And similarly, this H-1B visa is a visa applied by the employers or the sponsoring companies in the United States. So therefore, it is a non-immigrant work visa for a specialty occupations. For example, imagine that there is a company A working in the United States, and they need 10 workers from other country for a particular project. So what happens, this company will be filing a petition in the US Citizenship and Immigration Service saying that we need 10 workers for a particular project. So what happens, due to the high demand for this H-1B visa, the US Citizenship Service and Immigration, they will run a computerized lottery system to select the workers. So once the worker is selected, he will be going to the nearby US consulate for a further verification and interview, and after that he will be going to the United States to work for that particular or the sponsoring company. If he wants to change the company, there is another procedure, we will discuss that. So this is how the H-1B visa is working. So now what the Trump administration is saying, that hereafter the employer, that means the sponsoring company, has to pay annually $1 lakh for every H-1B visa. So definitely this will discourage the companies from hiring workers from foreign countries, and no doubt this will impact Indians also, especially the Indians working in the IT sector. And to get this H-1B visa, a person should have relevant qualification in that in the field he is going to work. For example, if a person is going to work in a computer or in a software developing company, in that case he should have a degree in the computer engineering. And initially this H-1B visa is issued for 3 years, but later it can be extended up to 6 years, and it is employer specific. For example, if this person wants to change his job from company A to company B, in that case the employer or the company B has to file the petition with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. So the next is dual intent. So what happens, a person is going through this H-1B visa can apply for permanent residency through the green card, and after if he gets the green card, then it can be a pathway for US citizenship also. And coming to the data from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service 2023, so you can see that the Indians who are hired through this H1B visa, most of them are getting salary below $1 lakh. That means if you take the average salary of an IT professional in the United States, it is just 8,500. So you can see that 70% of the Indians who are hired through this H1B visa are for the jobs with a salary below $1 lakh, and only 25% are getting between 1 lakh to 150 lakh dollar, and only 5% are getting salary above 1 lakh. So you can see that every year the company has to pay. That means the sponsoring company has to pay annually. $1 lakh means the sponsoring company is literally paying the 1 year salary of an employer. And the next is there is also another view perspective towards this US measure, that is the persisting STEM skill gap in the United States. So if you take the case of India and China, you can see that every year they are producing nearly millions of STEM graduates, that is students with from the background of science, technology, engineering and mathematics. For example, if you take the case of India, we are producing nearly 2.5 million STEM graduates every year, and in the case of China it is more, that is nearly 3.5, but in the case of United States it is just 0.8 million annually. So what happens, instead of taking the graduates from the United States, the companies will hire the graduates from other country because of the cheap availability of the labor. For example, if an Indian worker or a Chinese worker is hired for a particular job, then the company can pay $8,500 per month. But at the same time, if they are hiring a citizen from the United States, then they have to pay approximately 10,000. So this will, therefore the companies may go for the workers from other country instead of taking the people from the United States. And coming to the impact, so how this is going to impact? First is Indian. So you can see that more than 70% of the Indians in the United States are, since 2015 they are H1B visa holders. So definitely, the companies who already hired the Indians or who are going to hire the Indians will face huge expenditure. And the next is the IT sector. So you can see that most of the Indians who are working in the United States are getting salary below $1 lakh. So imagine that, definitely this will be a great burden for the IT employers. And the next is the US and India based tech giants may restrict the Indian workers in this field in the United States. So definitely this will create a lot of confusion in the US market and also in the IT sector of the United States. So with this, we will move to a prelims practice question. The question is, consider the following statements regarding H1B visa. Statement 1, it is a non-immigrant work visa issued by United States for specialty occupations. Statement 2, H1B visa holders can change employers without filing a petition. No. So that means you can see that the employers will be going to the US Citizenship and Immigration Service. They will be filing a petition, and after that only they can change the profession. And the next is the the visa duration is initially 3 years and can be extended up to 6 years. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? Option A, 1 and 2 only, option B, 2 and 3 only, option C, 1 and 3 only, and option D, 1, 2 and 3. So here the correct answer is option C, 1 and 3 only, because the statement 2 is incorrect. The US visa holders cannot change employers without filing a new petition. No, the employers has to if the employer wants to hire a particular the visa holder from another company, then they have to file the petition in the US Citizenship and Immigration Service. So without that it is not possible. So therefore the statement 2 is incorrect, while the statement 1 and 2 are 1 and 3 are correct. So here the correct answer is option C, 1 and 3 only. So with this we will move to the next article. So coming to the prelims focus, the first topic is Moran community. So we know that the Moran community, one of the native communities in the state of Assam, and some of the population is also found in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and now they are demanding for the status of scheduled tribe. And they belongs to the language group of Tibeto-Burmese, and the population of the community is distributed in the upper Assam and also in the adjoining districts of the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And coming to the religion, they adopted Vaishnavism in the 17th century, and specifically they belongs to the Maumoriya sect of the Neo-Vaishnavism, which was introduced by the Aniruddha Deva, the disciple of Shankaradeva. And you can see that the major festival of the Moran community is the Bihu. So particularly the Rangoli Bihu. So here you can see the picture of the Moran community celebrating the Bihu festival. And coming to the next topic, it is Gulf of Finland. So it is the easternmost extension of the Baltic Sea, and it is one of the largest bodies of brackish water in the world, and it is located in the northern Europe with a with an area of 30,000 square kilometer. And coming to the extension, you can see that east to west it covers nearly 400 kilometer, and from north to south, the distance ranges from 19 to 130 kilometer. And here you can see the picture of the Gulf of Finland. It is surrounded by Finland, Russia, and Estonia. And the next topic is Delhi's air is poisoned with mercury. That means high concentration of mercury in the air of Delhi. So recently, the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, which is located in Pune, reported that the national capital's air contains nearly 6.9 nanogram of mercury per cubic meter on an average. And this is much higher than the global average. So what is the global average? In the northern hemisphere, it is 1.7 nanograms per cubic meter, and in the southern hemisphere, it is 1.3 nanogram per cubic meter. But in the case of Delhi, it is nearly 6.9 nanogram of cubic meter, so which is much higher than the global average. So this is raising a significant concern about the health of the people, because we know that the early exposure to the mercury can even affect the neurological function of the people, and it will affect the cognitive function of the children. So definitely it is really a matter of concern. And in this topic, we discussed three important topics, that is Gulf of Finland, Moran community, and also the rising concentration of mercury in the Delhi's air. So we have a prelims PYQ. It is taken from 2023. The question is, consider the following statements regarding mercury pollution. Statement 1, gold mining activity is a source of mercury pollution in the world. Statement 2, coal-based thermal power plant cause mercury pollution. Statement 3, there is no non-safe level of exposure to mercury. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Option A, 1 only. Option B, 2 only. Option C, all the 3. And option D, none of the above. So here the correct answer is option 3. That is option C, all the 3. So gold mining activity is a major source of it's a source of air pollution in the world. Yes, it is correct. The coal-based thermal power plant causes mercury pollution. That is also correct. And there is no safe level of exposure to the mercury. Even we can see that the early exposure of the people to the mercury, especially the children, that can cause that can affect the neurological function. It can damage the neurological system, and also it can delay the cognitive development of the children. So there is no such safe limit regarding the matter of mercury. So all the 3 statements are correct. And with this, we will move to the conclusion. With this, we are coming to the conclusion for today's current affair analysis. If you like the video, hit the like button, give your feedbacks as comments, and share this content with your friends. And before leaving this channel, don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell icon to receive on-time updates from the academy. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for listening to me. Have a nice day.